All right, so this is going to be the day one of the prerequisite, and so in this particular week, we are going to discuss the prerequisite topics such as the Linux, AWS, and then build tools, and then Docker. So here going forward, we have to discuss these many topics. So today is the day one, and here we're gonna start with the Linux basics. And once the prerequisite over, then we guys will get started with the Kubernetes topic. Okay, so let's get started with the Linux now. Now here going ahead, we have to discuss a lot of other topics in Linux itself. But before than that, let me talk a little bit around about the AWS account because the most of the time we guys have to work on the Linux. I mean the servers and everything. Okay, and we guys are going to use the AWS virtual machines for that. That's the reason you should have a AWS account first. Okay, and then further you can do all the other things. That's the reason at this point, let's discuss about creating the account on AWS. Okay. Now, if you already have the account, okay, that's well. You can just use that. Okay, just make sure that you are in a free tier. So once you open account, so from that date to the till next year, you guys will get a free tier. Some of the it's like a free things you get. Now within that free tier, you get a few of the free things such as you can create one T2 micro machine that to be running all the time, and then few other features like few SD story you get, and then EBS volume you can use up to 30 GB. So these are the few of the free things you get, and that shall be enough for to get started and learn the things. So let's understand on first of all like how to create a AWS account. Okay, so you guys will be just opening any of the your favorite browser, and you can search there that AWS login console. Also you can search maybe so there also we get option. So maybe you can search AWS login console, and once you click on the very first link, here you get an option to sign in. Okay, so just click on sign in. Now, once you clicked on sign in, then further here you get option to create a new AWS account. Okay, so you have to click on this link, and after that, here you will be providing your email address. Okay, so let's say you have some Gmail address. Okay, so with the help of that, let's say here we have a student that is Abhishek. Okay, so let's say Abhishek is having the email ID as Abhishek@gmail.com. Okay, so here I put his email ID. So let's say in my case, my name is Amol Shetty. Okay, so let's say Amol Shetty@gmail.com. Okay, something like that I'll put. So that would become my mail ID. And then just do remember that this is the same mail ID. If you are setting up any of the mail ID, so this is going to be the mail ID for recovery and everything purpose. Okay, so just be careful with which email ID you are creating an account. I mean, just don't forget that. Okay, so that is the email ID here you will put, and then here you will put your name. Okay, so it's up to you that what name you would like to give here, and then you will click on the verify email address. So what will happen then? One email will go to this particular email ID. Okay, now I don't know whether this email ID exists or not. Okay, but I just sent it. So here I clicked on verification, and then a verification code has been gone to this email ID. Okay, now further you will open the email ID, will take the verification code, will put it here, and then click on verify. Now this is the one of the step that we have to do. Almost there are total 5 steps we have to do. Now that's the first step. Second thing, it will ask you some personal information such as the name, your last name, and a few of the other things like why you're trying to join this account and all. Okay, at certain point, it will ask you that is this you're creating for a business account? Okay, like is this AWS account is for a business purpose or individual purpose? So just make sure that you will click on the individual purpose. Okay. Then it is also going to ask you now. Earlier it wasn't asking, but nowadays it has started asking about the PAN card details as well. Okay, so you need to provide that PAN card detail or any government ID, something like that. They will ask you. So there are total 5 steps you have to follow, and after following those 5 steps, your AWS account creation should be done. And you will also receive an email saying that your AWS account is activated. So that is around like 10 minutes of work, okay, you have to do. So, and that has to be done by you. Okay, so you guys do it separately whenever you get time in 2 days. If you have account, then that's a good thing. Okay, just start using that. But if you don't have account, then just make sure that you create the account today itself. Okay.
So activation mail will get immediately, or it will take some time
No,
after?
it will be happening immediately in a rare case. So let's say there's something the problem occurred, such as the AWS feels that with this email ID already account creation is done or something like that. Okay.
Okay,
So verification is not proper. Okay. In such case only your activation this stops, or else your account activation becomes as soon as you're done with the creating the account.
sure. Thanks.
Yeah. So that's about the account creation process. Now, once the account creation is done, then you can as usual just now you have to log into it, right? So now we just saw that one email ID we have provided, and once this verification is done, then it will pop up one more window to set up your password also. So you decide what the password you would like to keep, and you have provided the email ID that is going to act as a username. Okay. Now here I'll search one more time the AWS console, and again I'll reach out to that page. So here I get option of sign in. Let me click on that, and then here you can see that so you have two options now. One is a I am user. Now this particular thing you will come to know when we will start discussing the AWS service. Okay, so we have a two option to for login. Now time being I'm gonna follow this option, which is a sign in using root user. Okay. Now, what is mean by root user? So if you remember that just now we set up one email ID and then password we're gonna set up. So that email ID and password you have to use it for login purpose. Okay. So let me put mine one. Okay. So that's my username, and I'll put the password. So here I'm done with the login part. Okay. I'm done with the login part. And then similar interface you guys also should see. Okay, so here on left hand side, whichever your left use most recently your services you have, then on right hand side any of the application, here you see a region. Okay, now region is a important thing, so I'll explain you again what is mean by region and everything. Maybe day after tomorrow we'll discuss about that. At this point, try to create the things in one of the nearest region to you. Okay, it's not compulsory that you should be choosing Mumbai. Okay, well, let's say that you're staying in India, then you may go for Mumbai. Okay, let's say you stay in US. Okay, so as per that, just choose the nearest region for you. Okay, so it's up to that which region in which you are creating the infrastructure. But the only thing, you have to take care of that. You'll be creating all the things at one place, or else you yourself will get forget that where you have created the stuff. Okay, so you have many choices of region. So I'm choosing the nearest to me. Okay. Now this is how the interface will look like. Okay. So that this is what my costing is. So around a $40 the bill that have generated for this month. Okay, so here you should have something like a zero figures. Okay. So these are the few of the things that you have to take care of. I'll tell you tips that how you can save cost here. Okay. Now of course for me I have to teach and I have to put a money out of the pocket for teaching purpose. Okay, but in your case, you might would like to save this cost. You don't want to pay this much of bill, right? So I'll tell you all of this that how exactly you guys have to work on. So this is about the AWS interface, and yeah, so that's how you will create the AWS account. So any questions here, guys? So far, anyone on AWS account creation process?
I have one question, Amol.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm using a office laptop. So in that, if I create, it will be any problem, or since it is totally related to Gmail?
No, see, it's completely totally related to Gmail. And second thing that you are going to use this particular thing in the browser, right?
Yes.
So there is there you don't have any restrictions about this accessing this your account. Okay, so there shouldn't be any. So you
Okay.
should be able to access this one. Okay, but what might trouble you that I'll tell you ahead. So when it comes to installing a new software, so
Yes.
you might have to raise a request with the IT team. Now, whichever
Right.
the softwares we're gonna talk about, those are not something you require licensing and everything that your office team might not be supporting. I mean, if you raise a request for that, you should get those softwares as well. Okay?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. Thanks.
Okay. So this is about the AWS interface. Now, once we're done with the AWS account creation, okay. Now, next thing what we are gonna do is we're gonna actually, talk about the Linux commands and what the Linux is exactly. We will discuss all of those things. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a Linux machine on the AWS platform. Okay, now what is AWS? So that topic here we are not starting today. Okay, our intention is not to start AWS today. Our intention is to start with the Linux today, but we required one Linux machine for a practice purpose. Okay. Now, what is meant by that? Okay, what is meant by I required Linux machine? So, and what is Linux first of all? Okay. So right now I'm teaching on a Windows PC, right? Like here you see the interface. Okay, it's familiar to you. Most of people might be familiar with this interface. Okay. At Macs, you guys might have, let's say, the Mac operating system. Okay. So Windows is there, Mac is there. Okay, Linux is there. So what are these? These are the different types of operating system we have. Okay, now Apple is the organization who has created a Mac operating system, which is again created on top of the Unix space. Okay, so it is like your Mac operating system is based on the Linux machine only. Okay, so out of the Linux, they have created their operating system, and that is the one we today we know that is Mac OS. Okay, then when it comes to Windows, so Windows is the most popular operating system, especially for the user interface. So at a personal level, when people wish to access the things with the UI, okay, that is user interface. So in that case, Windows is especially ahead, and it is able to provide that facility that user is interactive. User will remain interactive with their operating system. Okay. Now each operating system has its own advantages and disadvantages. Okay, like the way here I am explaining you, the Windows is good at providing the user interface, but still when it comes to server, okay, still when it comes to server, the Linux is the best operating system we choose, and what why it's so okay. So that thing we will discuss here. But at this point, what I'm trying to say is that we have to learn the Linux operating system, and then where I should be putting those commands or how I will be learning those things. Okay. So for that purpose, I'm gonna log into this AWS, and there I will be creating an machine on this AWS platform, and then we will log in. So what exactly we're gonna do is so I'm at this point I'm teaching on this laptop, right? So here I'm sitting. Okay, here I'm sitting at my laptop. So we are interested here. We are interested here. From this laptop, I'm gonna create one server first of all. Okay, so we will create one server. So we'll create one server, and then we are going to log into this server from my system. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna log in. So log in with the help of SSH. Okay, so with the help of SSH, we're gonna log in to this particular server, and that's what we're gonna do the next. Okay, so from my laptop, I'm gonna log in now. Do we have created a server? No, yet. Okay, like we will be creating one server first. Then we will understand how to log in. Now, this login process and everything that we required again and again, almost on each day, like every single day, we have to do this process and follow it. Okay, so if you follow me, particularly like well, so this will become habitual to you. Okay, and I'll teach you like how to log in to any of the server that whichever you're creating. Okay, so let's get started now. What we're going to do, we're going to create one server first inside AWS machine. And server creation is also easy process. Okay, and we'll be creating server again and again and again for some reason. Maybe we might be creating, let's say, 100 servers, through the curriculum. So for each and everything, wherever we have to create a new server, so we'll be reaching out to AWS platform, and there we will be creating one server. Now, what is the thing here we have? So AWS has one service. Okay, AWS has one service, and which service that provides a server? So it is a EC2. Okay, so it is a EC2 platform. So it is a EC2 service. Okay, it is a EC2 service who can provide the login. I'm sorry, who can provide the virtual machines to us. So wherever you require a server, you can go to the AWS cloud platform, and there you can ask EC2 service to create a server for you. Okay, so that is what here we are going to do now. We're going to create a server on AWS platform. So let's go ahead and do it. Now, here I have logged in to this, the AWS platform. And there you can see, in my case, I do have a recently visited. You can see EC2 is the first service that we have. So in your case, it might be a blank one because you have just created the account. Okay, so you can go to this search bar, and here you can search for a EC2. Okay, then what it is saying, that virtual servers in the cloud, right? So let me click on that link. Now at this point, you can see here in instances running. Okay, my count is 0, so I don't have any instance running. Okay, so this is my dashboard, EC2 dashboard, and at this point there is no machine running. Okay, if I scroll little down, you can see here we have one option called as launch instance. So from here we can launch one EC2 server. Okay, so let me click on that. Now as soon as I open that particular, as soon as I clicked on launch an instance, so I get something like a form to fill up. Okay, now what is exactly information here I have to pass? So just imagine. Okay, now you're gonna create one EC2 server. Okay, now EC2 server is like a laptop, guys. Okay, EC2 server is like a laptop, but just you are creating it at a virtual level. Okay, now let's say you wish to purchase a laptop. What you guys will do? You guys will you wish to purchase laptop. You guys will go to the laptop shop. There you will tell your requirement that you require laptop with, let's say, 8 GB of RAM. Any questions? Yeah. So here, let's say you wish to purchase a laptop. What you guys will do? You guys will go to the laptop store. There you will tell your requirement that you required 8 or 16 GB RAM. Let's say how much storage you required. Okay, let's say 1 TB of storage you required. Which operating system you required? You just required the latest operating system, or even if it's little older. Okay, that's fine. Maybe you're purchasing a old laptop, and that laptop is saying that you will get a Windows 11, or let's say Windows 10 operating system they are providing to you, and you're okay with that. Okay, because pricing factor also matter, right? So maybe you're purchasing an old model, so there could be a number of configuration details that you provide, and as per that, you will get a laptop suggestions, right? So same thing is here also applicable, that you're trying to create an EC2 server. So while creating an EC2 server, it is going to ask you a few questions like what operating system you require, how much RAM, how much CPU, okay, how much storage, okay, how you will be login. So all these options we have, and then as for that we create the EC2 server. So here you can see the very first option we have, that is a name and tags. So you can just for identity purpose you can provide any name, and name is completely your choice. Okay, so let's say it's a demo Linux. Okay, now here what name you would like to give, that's completely your choice. I'm giving the demo Linux. That's a name I'm giving, and this is just for identification purpose. Okay, it has nothing to do with internal stuff. It is just for our understanding purpose that we are giving the name. Then if I scroll a little down, the next option that I have to choose, that is about the operating system image. Okay, so what is meant by that? So I'm gonna launch an EC2 server, but what operating system I should be choosing? So by default, it will be always on Amazon Linux that you should see. But Linux again having a different flavors. Okay, Linux is what? It is an open source operating system first of all. Okay, Linux is what? It is the open source operating system, which means that you guys can just go and start using that operating system. You don't have to pay a single rupees to anyone. Okay, that's what the model with which this Linux came out, and Linux always kept himself as a open source. So what does it mean? They are not going to charge you for using their operating system. Okay, now, and that's the reason here, like a lot of people take the Linux and then they create their own flavor. Okay, and that's how if you just go in the market and you try to search for operating system, Linux operating system, so you might get like thousands of the versions that we have, or thousands of the flavors we have for this Linux. Okay, now among them, these are the few popular we have, like Amazon Linux is there, then Ubuntu is there, Red Hat is there, then SUSE Linux is there. Okay, Debian West is there, like that. CentOS is there. Okay, so these are the few popular Linux system we have among them. Now, in today's class, which operating system we have to consider? So we are here interested in taking one operating system and practicing on it. So maybe in today's class, I'll consider Ubuntu as operating system. Okay. Now, Ubuntu is one of the very popular operating system that we have from the Linux, and that's one we are going to use it here for for creating an operating system. I mean Linux. Okay. So Ubuntu is the one I'm choosing. Then if I scroll a little down, you see here instance type is T2 micro. Now you guys also have to keep the T2 micro because this is the one which is a free tier eligible. Okay, which is a free tier eligible. So this machine is not going to give you any cost if you are in a free tier. Fine. So I'm just like going with this, but this is the particular instance type is going to decide the pricing of your machine. Okay, because if I just show you, the bigger the machine I choose now, like T2 micro is going to give you what? It is going to create, or it will get create with the one virtual core CPU and 1 GB of RAM. Okay. So only 1 GB of RAM that we will get it here for this machine. Okay. Now for practice purpose, yes, of course, that is enough. Okay. For practice purpose, that 1 GB of RAM is enough. But let's say, if you are creating a very big server, okay, so in such case, you might require a little, let's say you wish to run a big application on the server. So of course you need to choose a bigger machine. Now T2 micro is enough here in this case. So 1 GB of RAM and one virtual core it will take. And pricing also you can see here. Now this pricing is not applicable for a free tier. Okay, but let's say if I go and scroll little down and choose a little bigger machine, okay, I choose something like a T2 medium. So of course here I'm getting two virtual core and 4 GB of RAM. Okay, and again the pricing also got increased. Okay, so that's how your pricing is based on how bigger or smaller machine you're choosing. Okay, based on that your pricing will get decided for the machines, and that's the reason I'm going to keep the T2 micro, which is a free machine that I'll go with. For practice purpose, T2 micro is enough. Okay, great. Then the next thing here, we are going to discuss this, key pair topic ahead in a detailed manner. But at this point, I'm gonna do what? Just think like this way. From my laptop, I have to log into this server. Okay. Now I should also have some password or anything like correct. So to log into this system from my laptop, I need to log in to this server. So how I will log in? Okay, there has to be some authentication method, right? So that is what here we have to do. We gonna do that one with the key pair. Okay. So key pair, we will decide one key pair, and that's how we will log in. Okay, so in a key pair, now if you are creating the account, if you have created the account for the very first time, so of course in the drop down you won't find any key. Okay, so key is like one time creation process that you required. So maybe here I'll click on create a new key pair, and then here I'll provide the key name. Okay, now let me provide something the key name. Let's say it's a Linux demo, and then I'll provide some random number. Okay, just to make it unique, because I do have a keys with this name a lot. Okay, a lot of keys I do have. So that is what the name I'm giving, and name is your choice. Okay, name is your choice, but give something little smaller name, and don't give number like me. Okay, in your case maybe Linux demo or something is enough for you, because I have created so many keys again and again for various students, right? So this is just to make the key name unique. I'm giving the some number along with it. Okay, and just say create key pair. So now I'm done with the creating the key pair, and you can see here that something got downloaded in the downloads folder. So in my downloads folder, this Linux-demo, this particular key got downloaded. Okay, and if I go and show you the downloads folder, so here you can see this the particular key is got downloaded. Now here I like this particular key pair is going to help us for login. Okay, so just keep in mind that in downloads folder we have downloaded something. Okay, so that's what the something here important process is, and that's it. So now we are done with almost all the setting. Now we have something called as network setting. So network setting we're gonna discuss later. Right now I'm not discussing anything here at this point. And then configuring storage. So 8 GB is also enough for us to practice. Okay, and we're done with everything. So again, maybe things might have looked a little confusing, but it's not really. Okay, let me just summarize what we are doing. So after launching, after click on launching an instance. So here we have provided this name. Here as a part of operating system, I clicked on Ubuntu. Then next thing is here I provided the operating system, which is T2 Micro. So it was already okay. So I don't have to do anything here. Now key pair, I required one key pair. So I clicked on this create new key pair, and we have provided some name, and then this is what we are done with the creating the key pair. Okay, and then I will go and say launch instance. So let me click on the launch instance. So that's how you guys will be creating your AWS server. Okay, so you can see that demo Linux server creation is in progress. So which is in pending state. So this will become available in like few seconds. So let's wait for that. Okay, now you guys can see that we're done with the launching the EC2 server. Okay, so right now instance is in a running state. So that is the beauty of the cloud. Can you guys see that you just wanted to have an EC2 server? Okay, so it's like a one of the laptop that you have created virtually. Okay, so can you just imagine that we were asking for a machine to be created, and how quickly you're done with the instance creation. That is what the beauty of the cloud is. So is this understood to you all that we have just done with the creating the Linux machine on AWS platform? So any queries, question you guys have here at this point? Anyone? Krishna, Abhishek, Fanish, Siva, Sudeep.
No, no, no.
No, nothing from my side.
Okay. Okay, great. So that's how we are done with the launching an EC2 server. Now, next thing is what? Next thing, we have to log into that AWS machine. Okay. So what is our purpose is why we are creating this Linux machine for a practice purpose. Okay, we have to learn the Linux. So very first thing what we will do is we will log into this AWS machine. Okay. And then we will do the next commands and everything that we will put the next. Okay. So for that reason, what I will do is I will log into this EC2 server. Now, how to log in? Okay, how to log in? So I'll tell you one of the best practice to log in, and that is a way, that is a practice we have to follow for each and every single session. Okay, now there are multiple ways with we actually log in. So here I'm on laptop. Okay, here I'm on laptop. So I required a few of the tools here for login purpose. So the very first tool here I will write that we will consider, that is a git bash tool. Okay. Now what is a git bash? Okay, so you will say, okay, it looks like git is something a different tool, right? Then what is git bash? So I'll come to that, okay, later. But at this point, I required one terminal software. Okay, and the name of the terminal software is git bash. Now here you can also use something like a putty software, or let's say some of the other tools also we have in the market. But git bash is one of the best tool that we can go for it. And putty we can also use, but that's like a little older software now, and that's the reason we don't use it. Okay, so a better option is git bash. And why it is best one? Because in upcoming class you will realize that we don't use the git bash just for login purpose, but for many reasons, like whenever we have to interact with the git and github. So again, git is the tool that we use. So that's the reason here we will go and understand the git tool. So how exactly we will do it? So here in our case, in my case, I do have installed the git tool. But in your case, let's say you don't have a tool. So what you guys will do, you guys will install this particular tool. Okay, and how you can make it possible? So you can just go on, and on Chrome browser or any of the browser, and there you will search to download. Okay, so just say git bash download. So you'll search for that. Then here you get a very first link. So just click on that. And then depending on your operating system, whether it's Mac, Windows, Linux, okay, you will go and download your Git Bash tool. Okay. So here you can see, in my case, I'm having the Windows operating system. So this particular website has recognized that I might be using the Windows. So that's it. It has given me the option here. So I can click either here or here. Anything is fine. Okay. So maybe let's say here I click. Okay. And then here again it is asking me. So you guys will be installing this one. Okay. The standalone installer. So again, depending on which operating system you have, is it a 32-bit or 64-bit? Okay. So in my case, my laptop is latest. Okay, I mean 64 is the one most probably you guys will also have. Okay, until unless your laptop is quite very older, like let's say 7 8 year old laptop. If you have it, then in that case just check which operating system you guys are using. Okay, or else in most of the cases you must be having a 64-bit configured laptop. Okay, so now this is the link I need to click on. Okay, so I'll click on this link. And then again, you see here that the Git has started downloading. Now, in my case, again, I do have already installed the software, so I'm not going to install this one. And installation of this particular software is really easy. You just have to download this one. Okay, you just have to download this one. Once the download is finished, then you have to double click on this link and just say next till the end. Okay, so that's how easy it is to download this Git bash. So this is, let's not waste our time in explaining how to install this. Okay, so you guys will be installing this one. So this is the second task that you guys have to do. Okay, like let me revise the task for you. Okay, let me revise the task for you. So the first task that what I told you is that create an AWS account. Okay. Second task is install the Git bash software. Okay, so these are the two tasks that I have told you to perform it today, so that tomorrow onwards you guys will be working with my pace, and you will be able to understand what is happening. So now once you're done with this Git bash tool installation, then you can log in to this server. Okay, now how exactly you guys will be logging. Let me explain to you that procedure. Okay. Now here I said already sh is the tool with which we're gonna log in from Git bash. So what is exactly command with which we're gonna log in? So the command is sh hyphen I, and then you can mention the key pair, that whatever the key pair with which you have created the instance. So if you remember that I have downloaded one key pair in downloads folder, so that key pair I'm gonna choose it here for login purpose. Okay. And then what is the operating system you have considered? So depending on operating system, there is a username of the machine we have. So like for Ubuntu, it is a Ubuntu machine we have. Okay, for Amazon machine, Amazon Linux, it is a EC2 hyphen user we have. Okay, so there are 3 to 4 username that you guys have to keep in mind, that depending on what operating system you are considering, your username is going to vary. So in my case, it is the sh-i key pair, and then my operating system is Ubuntu. So my username is also Ubuntu at the rate the public IP. Okay, public IP. So this is the command that we have to use. Okay, this is the command that we have to use. And with this command, you guys will go and log into the system. Okay, so with this particular command, we will log in. So sh-i key pair and Ubuntu at the rate public IP. Now you guys will get habitual, while doing all of this. Now at this point, this is the very first time you guys are looking at this command. But because I said we'll be creating like, you know, so many machines and we have to log in almost each and every single day. So you shouldn't get, remain with any query. Okay, so let's understand that how exactly we will log in. So I will open a Git bash. Okay, I will open a Git bash tool. So let me open it. And then within this Git bash, okay, my key is there in a downloads folder. Okay, my key is there in a downloads folder. So which I've already shown you, right? So if I show you, the key is there in a downloads folder. So what I will do here at this point, I am at somewhere else. Okay, like as soon as I open the Git bash, so I'm at somewhere else. So I have to go to the downloads folder. Now there is again one more command we have, again Linux, which is a cd command. So within the Git bash, you guys will go and put all the Linux commands. So here within this terminal, okay, within this terminal, you guys will be using the Linux commands only. Now here I'm gonna say cd and my downloads. So in a downloads folder, I do have this the Linux key, right? So let me put that. So just say down, okay, and just press tab. Okay, so can you guys just see that it just got auto completed? Okay, let me show you one more time. So what I'm saying is my key is there in downloads folder. So I'm gonna say cd, and I don't have to type the full thing. Okay, so and then this auto typing is also important for, because let's say you type something by yourself and you made any spelling mistake or anything like that. So you will not reach out to this folder saying that it will throw an error saying that no such file or directory. So that's reason just take the help of auto fill. So here down is already written. I'll press tab and you can see it has just recognized that you're trying to look for a downloads folder. So now let me press enter. Okay. Now you can see that I'm inside the downloads folder. Okay, I'm inside the downloads folder. And on this path, I'm going to put this particular command now. Okay, this command I'm going to put it. So sh hyphen I, and then this is the whole command that I'm going to put. Okay, so let me put that sh hyphen I. Then I'm looking for a key pair. Okay, now what is the key pair which we have downloaded? It is a Linux demo. Okay, so I'm gonna type Linux, press tab. Okay, so I do have a lot of other keys with Linux. Okay, that's again Linux, till Linux it got auto completed. Again the demo, tab, and then the next is 66, right? 6. Okay, so here you can see it got auto completed. So I'm just like keep pressing the tab key, and that's how this key name will also get auto completed. Now in your case, of course, let's say you type Linux and press tab, your whole name would directly popped up, because I don't think you will have any file or anything with the Linux name, right? In my case, I do have so many keys with the similar name. That's the reason it took so many tabs to reach out here. Fine. Then username is Ubuntu. Okay, correct. As per I'm just like following the command guys here. Okay, username is Ubuntu at the rate the public IP. Now where I'll get the public IP? So at the rate where I'll get the public IP? So I'll go to the AWS account. Okay, here you can see. So this is my demo Linux machine, and here I do have a two IPs, public IP and private IP. Now each of these IPs have their own use cases, own purposes. So I'm interested here in the public IP at this moment. So let me copy that public IP and then I'll paste it here. Okay, and just press enter. So you can see here, are you sure you want to continue connecting? It's giving you a warning that looks like that you are connecting to new machine. So are you sure you want to continue? So that's a warning I'm getting. So just say yes and press enter. And here we go. So we have successfully logged into the EC2 server. So I'll just repeat one more time. So from this laptop, okay, from this laptop, you're logged in and now you're here. So it's like you're sitting here inside this server. So whatever the command that you're putting now here inside this machine, so those are getting executed here inside this server. So that's what we have done here. So we have logged in. So from the server, we have done the SH and now we are inside the server. So the command that whatever you are putting here, those are like getting executed inside this server machine. So that's how we are going to log in on each day. Okay, so is this process is understood to you all? Any question guys here? Anyone?
Uh, so I have one question. So
Mm-hmm.
can we not do this on the PowerShell, while particularly on Git Bash?
Why we are not doing on any?
PowerShell or something in the or
Okay,
any command prompt.
okay, I got your query. So let's say, the terminals is it's not compulsory, like it has to be Git bash. Okay, you have a choice there. So let's say you're doing the same thing with the PowerShell. Like we have a PowerShell, one of the other terminal, or even PowerShell is not a by default terminal. We have one more terminal called a CMD. Okay, that is command prompt. Okay, now that's actually a by default terminal that we have, and we're supposed to log into the other systems or something with this particular tool actually. But here by default, the command prompt doesn't support to sh tool. Okay, like here we're gonna put the sh command. So by default, sh doesn't get supported by this, CMD. That's the reason we are not using the CMD. Okay. Now what about PowerShell? PowerShell does support to the sh, but there is a difference in the commands. I mean, for each of the things you have a lot of struggle here. So like in case of PowerShell, like the way you are using the directory and everything, okay, is going to be completely different than the Linux. Okay, it's opposite actually. Like the way here front forward slash is to for a directory. In case of Windows, it is the backward slash. Okay, so there is a lot of confusion that you will see when it comes to the using the Windows systems. Okay, that's the reason to have a common ground, you can use the Git bash, and Git bash is something the tool which is not just we're going to use it for login purpose. It has one more use case, that is the for a Git and GitHub. Integrating with the GitHub, interacting with the GitHub, you're going to use the Git bash again. So that's the reason it is a common tool that we can use it for both the purpose. Okay.
Got it. Thank you.
Now one more thing, that let's say any one of you is having a Mac operating system, so they may skip this Git bash process. Okay, they may skip this Git bash download process. The whatever the command here I have just explained to you. Okay, this command. So only with this command you guys can log in within your default terminal. Okay, so Mac operating system is having their own default terminal, right? Like the way we have here the CMD terminal. Okay, but CMD command prompt doesn't come along with the sh tool integrated. Okay, nowadays you can install the sh separately, but still, old laptop doesn't support that. That's the reason I'm not going with this command way, and it is not at all helpful. Okay, but the
Yeah.
other option,
Uh,
sorry, yes, Abhishek, any query? Yeah,
sorry. I
yeah,
was-
yeah. So, so if you're having the Mac operating system, so in such case, you get a default terminal, and default terminals does support to the the SH tool. That's in case of Mac operating system, maybe you can skip downloading any third-party tool like a Git Bash. There you can directly start working on your terminal. So that is about like how to log in to the server. So any other queries, question, guys, you have here so far? Anyone? Anything that you want to ask from your end?
No, clear.
Okay, great. So at this point, everybody's clear with this, how to log in and everything. Now here onwards, we can start practicing and then doing this stuff inside the Linux. So here I'm inside the Linux server, and here I can just do the practice. Okay. So before going and talking about that, okay, like why Linux? Okay, let's understand, because I just shown you while launching the EC2 server, we also had an option, to create a Windows server or to use a Mac operating system. Okay, so that server we can also create. So we actually have a different choices to launch the different machines. Like we can create Mac OS, we can create a Windows server, we can create a Ubuntu, we can create Amazon Linux. So why Linux? Okay, so why we have to learn the Linux? So you can argue with me, say that, I'm very good at understanding the Windows operating system, and Windows is something that, that is a operating system which is like a go-to operating system for me. Every single day I use it. So why it's like I have to use, I should be looking for a Linux operating system. Okay, is there any reason? Okay, so why we have to learn the Linux in first place? Okay, so that's a question I'm putting out. So anyone would like to give answer for this question? That why Linux? Anyone?
Yeah, Linux is lightweight when compared to Windows. So in real case, we deploy applications on Linux rather than preferring deploying on Windows, because Windows will be having enough lots of dependencies in sense.
Okay.
It's not lightweight actually. So we do prefer deploying applications in Windows in some cases.
Okay. Correct. So somewhat that like whatever that Siva said, okay, that is correct. That Linux is considered a lightweight operating system and Windows is not. Okay, but what is meant by that line? Like how it is affecting that lightweight property. Okay, let's understand. Let me explain to you a little bit around that. Okay, why Linux? So first of all, when it comes like what is our goal is going to be, let's just understand the end goal, then you'll come to know the reason for that. Okay, so like what is your end goal is going to be. So just imagine that we have here a developer. Okay, we have here a developer, and this developer, like what is the job role of the developer is that developer is going to create an application, and your end goal is going to be that take that application and put it inside a server. Okay, so your end goal is going to be to put that application into the server, and that's what your goal is going to be. So inside the server, you're gonna do what? You're gonna put the application, and then your application deployment is going to be. So that's the reason we are creating this server, right? So like this is what our intention is going to be. So this developer is going to develop an application. That application will take, and we will put it inside the server, and that's what our end goal is. Now here we have a choice of choosing the operating system. Like you can go with Windows, you can go with Linux, you can go with Mac. Okay, you have a again Linux distribution, so you can choose any of the operating system. So it's not like capability question of on the Windows that Windows does not has the capability. Okay, it's not about that. It is something else. Okay. Now as Siva said that Linux is considered lightweight means what? That in case of Windows. Okay, in case of Windows is created the operating system for a user interaction. Okay, like the way I can close this one, I can click on multiple tabs here. So I'm interacting with this operating system. I can open the paint, I can draw something. Everything that I'm doing with some cursor and everything. So it's like a interactive operating system that we have. Okay, it's like a operating system that is an interactive operating system we have. But what happened behind the scene? Like let's say I open or like let's say if I close here, click on the minimize. So this is a software which is created, okay, like this is whiteboard, of software is created. And whenever I clicked here, so behind the scene, once I clicked on this option, so behind the scene there is one function written for that. Okay, there is one function written for that. So if you click here, then your window should get minimized. Okay, and like that, to handle one single tool when I'm drawing anything here. Okay, for each and everything there's something code is written, and behind the scene that code is getting executed as a part of the process. Okay, that code is getting executed as a part of the process. So overall, when it comes to the Windows operating system, I have to deal with so many user interactive, the softwares, because of which my CPU utilization gets consumed more. Okay, because of which my CPU utilization gets consumed more. And if you remember that at start initial, that when it was asking us to choose the, the instance type, so we chose something like a T2 micro machine. So here a T2 micro machine is kind of a bit small machine, and of course Windows will not get supported. Okay, so overall here when it comes to launching an EC2 server, so we always give the preference to the Linux server. The one of the reason is that Windows is a user interactive operating system, okay, which has a graphical user interface, which is a GUI based operating system, we say, okay, which is having some graphics to show us, and then that operating system is made to interact with us, and we should feel easy while doing the things, okay. But when it comes to Linux, so Linux is not like that. Linux is what Linux is not that user interactive. It is actually a command line based. Okay, here you can see it is a CLI based operating system where you will be putting the commands for each and every single thing. Okay, so in Linux you will be putting in command for each and everything. So why we are doing all of this? Because to save a cost. Okay, so in case of Windows, let's say you have to do the same task. So in that case, you need to choose a bigger machine. Okay, so like T2 Micro, we can use it here, and you can see that operating system is just performing well. With the even 1 GB RAM, your operating system can work. But let's say same thing, I have to do it with the Windows. So same thing is not possible because Windows require more resources. It requires a more CPU utilization. It requires more RAM and CPU to do all of the stuff. That's the reason here. That's the reason here. You guys should be like that's the reason we have to learn the Linux, because organizations are giving the preference to use a Linux because it is cost effective. And what about then learning, right? Like you said that I'm well with the Windows operating system, so they will say you that just go and learn the Linux. So we say people to learn the Linux, but of course they are not going to use the Windows operating system instead of Linux. Okay, so that's the reason here. The main important reason is that CPU utilization and resource utilization, and there are other reasons also, right? Like it is a lightweight, and Linux is considered a secure operating system. Then it is fast, as you can see that you just have to put a command. So nothing any extra CPU or any RAM utilization is happening for behind the scene things. Okay, so that's the reason here we are going to choose the Linux as a operating system. That why Linux? So this is the reasons we have. Okay, guys. So any questions on this? I mean, is this understood to you all? Like importance of the Linux? Why we have to learn the Linux? Any questions here?
No.
No questions, right? Okay. Now, next thing, what we will do is, now we will start, learning the Linux. So we are inside the server, and let's put few of the commands to understand the Linux. So the very first command that I would like to teach you is the who am I. Okay, now who am I is the command with which I can get to know that which user I'm logged in with. Okay, so if I press the who am I, you can see that I'm logged in as a Ubuntu user. Okay, so why Ubuntu? Because if you remember that, what is the command that we put while login? So it was a Ubuntu user, right? So because here I put Ubuntu user, so that's the reason here when I log into this system, so here Ubuntu is the name that you can see, and then Ubuntu @ this host name. Okay, so that's the reason here you can see the who am I is the command which is showing me the Ubuntu as a username. Okay, great. The next thing is that you're gonna put you have to switch yourself with any other user. Is it possible to do? Yes. So let's say, I would like to switch it with the root user. Okay, now why root user? So root user in the Linux system is considered as the highest privileged user. Means what? That root user is what? It is having the most permission. It is having the highest permission inside the Linux. Okay. So that is what here I'll consider. So let's say here I'm gonna say sudo su hyphen root user. Okay. Now this is the command with which I'm going to switch myself with the root user. What this command is? Sudo is basically I'm giving Ubuntu as a privilege. With the privilege mode, I'm going to execute this command. Then su is switch user hyphen root. Okay, to which user? Root user. So this is the particular command you guys keep in mind for switching yourself with the root user. So right now I'm logged in as Ubuntu user, but I'm gonna switch myself with the root user. Let me press enter. And now if I check who am I? Who am I? So you can see that root is the username that we have. Okay, great. So sudo su hyphen root. Okay, so that's what we have done, and this command has shown us that root is a user with which we have logged in. Okay, so earlier username is Ubuntu, and now the new user like logged in user is what? It's a root user that we have. Okay, great. So we are done with the switching ourselves with the root user. Okay. Now again here there are few of the important command that we have to talk about. Okay, so at initial what I started with. At initial I started with what? I started with the who am I? Okay. Then I did what I did. I said sudo su hyphen root is the next command that we discussed. Now the next command that I would like to teach you is the pwd is something that we will be using a lot. Okay. Now pwd is going to do what? pwd is going to tell you that at what path you are. Okay. Now this is quite easy for us when it comes to the uh, the Linux operating system. Let's say here in this case, sorry, in case of Windows, right? Let's say if I click on desktop, okay, and within desktop I open the any of the folder, let's say a repo folder, and I open any one of the folder again inside that. So you guys can just see that I'm like at somewhere now, at any location, but still I can always keep an eye over here that at which directory I am. So this is showing me that inside a desktop there is a repo folder. Inside repo folder, there is a 9th May demo folder. Okay, so like that, I can see that a hierarchy or directory is here. Okay, but in Linux, we don't have that facility, right? So it becomes important for us to understand like what exactly directory I'm working on. Okay, and the system pwd is a command that can show us that what directory you guys are. So right now I'm at the /root location. Okay, right now I'm at the /root location. So slash is one of the directory from where the Linux starts, and then there is a root directory in which I am right now at this point. So yeah, that's what we have here. So pwd is telling me that it is a /root directory in which I am. Okay, so great. So I'm inside the server, and there I have switched myself with the root user, and that's the reason pwd is a command that is telling me that I'm at the /root location. Then there is one more command that we should be aware of, that is ls command. So ls command is going to list out that files and folders that whatever I have there. Okay, files and folders that whatever I have. So at this point you can see here snap is one directory that we have. Okay, but apart from that I don't have anything. So ls command is going to tell me the files and folders. Now what does it mean? Let's say here inside this inside this particular folder I can see that 9th May demo, Docker project, test Jenkins trigger. Okay, these are the folders we have. If I go inside that, okay, I can see there is .git is this folder we have. Then file. So all of these are files, right? Same way, ls is the command is going to show me the what are the files and folders we have. So one more important command that you will be using again and again is the ls command. Okay, so these are the few commands that we have discussed so far. Now, what our goal is going to be, like, our goal is to be learning the Linux commands, right? So let's learn a few more. Okay. Now let's say my interest is to create one directory or anything, the folder. Okay, my interest is to create directory or folder. Can you guys tell me like what is the command for that in Linux?
mkdir.
Correct. So it is the mkdir is a folder that is a make directory. Okay, mkdir is a command with which you guys can create a folder. So, or directory. Now, in case of Linux, we call the folders as a directory, and in Windows, we call the folders as folders. Okay, so you guys are well aware of what is meant by folder. The same thing is also here. It is just in Linux we call as a directory. Okay, so let me create one directory. I'll give the name as a directory one. So here I should be providing a directory name. I should be providing. So let me go and put that command here. So let's say mkdir dir1. I'll create a directory, and now I can see that. Okay, let's see that. Yes, directory one creation is something done. Now just imagine that we have to create few directories and few folders. Now to demonstrate that, what I will do is, let's just go with this way, that we will assume something like we need to create one few of the directories here. Okay, so let's say first directory that we will create, I mean under the /root, we would like to create few directories. Okay, now under the /root, one we will create is like a dir1, then dir2, and then we will create the dir3. Okay, so like that we will create a multiple directories. So dir1, then dir2, and then dir3. Okay, so these are the three directories we will create. Then again inside this dir1, dir2, we will create few more directories. So let's say here we'll create in dir1, we'll create dir4, and we'll create one file here inside dir1. Okay, let's say file1 1.txt. Okay, so that is what we will do. I'll take this arrow, which is better than my handwriting. Okay, so here in dir1 we will create dir4 and file1, and similar setup we have to do it in dir3 as well. So let me do that one. So in dir3 we would like to create again few more directories. So here I'll create a dir6, and we'll create here one more file, the file 2.txt. Okay, I'm creating this for purpose, so we will learn this one together. So this is what the setup we will do right now. Okay, this is what the setup we will do. So at this point I have just one /root directory we have. Inside that dir1 we have already created. Let's create the dir2 and dir3 very quickly. Okay, so right now I do have this dir1. I would like to create the dir2 and dir3. Can I just create it together, I mean at the same time? Yes, like this
Yes.
way. Like this way, just provide a space in between, and like that you can just create as many as directory. Just press enter, and now if I do ls, you can see that dir1, dir2, dir3, like that we are done with the 3 directory creation. So 3 folders creation is done, dir1, dir2, and dir3. Now inside the dir1 you have to create dir4. Okay, what you will do, so to go inside any of the folder, what you have to do is you have to put the cd command. Okay, to go to inside any directory, you have to use what? You have to use the cd command. So right now I am here under the /root location. So pwd is gonna tell me like where I am. So I'm at the /root location. So I have to go to inside dir1. So I'll say cd dir1 and press tab and just press enter. Okay, so now I'm here. Okay, I'm here inside this dir1. I'm inside this dir1. Okay. Now right now I don't have anything here. You can see that ls command is showing me. I'll create one more directory here, which is with the dir command, make dir command. Okay, so mkdir and then dir4. Okay, just press enter. If I do ls, you can see that yes, dir4 is created. Okay, great. So we are done with this particular directory creation. Okay, what about this? So we have to create a file now. Okay, what is the command with which we create a file, guys?
Touch.
Yes. So touch is the command with which we can create a file. So let's do that. So here I'll use a touch command. Now touch command with which we can create a blank file. Okay, now how to write anything inside the file? I'll teach you that, but let me go with that. So touch and then provide any file name, file1.txt or anything. Okay, and just press enter. And now if I do ls, you guys can have a look that dir4 and file1.txt. So both of these things is done. So as per expectation, dir4 and file1.txt, both of these things creation is done. Great. So now our job is to what? Our job is to create files and folders here inside dir3. But where I am inside this dir1. Okay, if I show you the pwd, you can see that under /root location, under dir1. Okay, under dir1 we have this dir4 and file1. Okay, so we have this dir4 and file1. So we are done with this part. Now we have to go back to this /root location. Okay, we have to go back with this /root location. So I'm gonna say cd double dot. Okay, cd double dot will take one step, back to me. Okay, I'll explain you one more time. Let's say, you are here and you have to go to this particular folder or inside repo folder. What you can do is you can just say, click here. So you are one step back. Again, you will click here. So you are one step back. So let's say one step back you have to go. What you can do is you can just say cd space double dot, which will take you one step back. Okay, so let me show you the pwd, and I'm gonna say cd space double dot. Okay, now if I show you pwd, you can see that you're one step back. Okay, so now earlier you was that in dir1, and now you can see you're at the /root location. Okay, great. So now you're inside the /root location. If I show you ls, you can see that dir1, dir2, dir3, dir1, dir2, dir3, all of the things you can see ahead in front of you. Now you're curious here to go inside this one. Okay, you're curious here to go inside dir3. So let me go to dir3 now. Right now I don't have anything. ls command proves that. Let me create directory mkdir dir6. Okay, so dir6 and touch command with which I can create the file. So it is a file2.txt, right? You can see that we are done with everything, that whatever I explained on the board. So whatever we wish to create, okay, all of those things we are done with the creating. So here we use small commands such as cd, then touch command, then pwd is something we already know, mkdir, and okay, mkdir is also we have learned, and cd space double dot. So these many commands we have learned here. Okay, so let me just list out those here. So touch command is to create a file, and then you can give the file name as per your choice. Then what else we have learned here? So cd is the command we learned, cd and then directory name, just go to that particular directory. Okay, all right, so these are the commands we have learned so far. Any queries, question, guys, here so far? Anyone? whatever we have done so far with that. Anyone is having any query questions? Krishna, Abhishek, Fanish,
No,
Siva.
no, it's clear, Amar. It's clear.
Okay,
Yeah.
Sukhdev. Everybody's clear, right? Everybody's with me.
Yeah.
Now, for few people, like whatever here I am explaining, that might be, quite basic one. So in such case, maybe, things quite would be a little boring for you, but let me, tell you tomorrow onward, the session is going to be interested for each and everyone. Okay. Because today is day one, so whoever is already knowing the Linux, okay, for them this might be little basics, but yes, tomorrow onwards we're gonna learn something like challenging and interesting things. Fine. So now that's about the how you guys will be creating your directory and folders. Now next thing, what we will do is, okay, so Linux file system and everything that we are learning. We have to learn few more commands here. Okay, so let's get started. Now at this point, you guys can have a look on this diagram. Let's say in DR2 we haven't created anything. Okay. Now what are the things we usually do in Windows systems also? Okay, just think like, so you will come to know like whatever the things we learn here, we required here. So those many things we need to be learning in the Linux as well. So let's say you log into your Windows system and somebody told you that, I can see the one file is there. I would like to have that file in some other folder. Okay, so copies is what you guys do, right? You clicked on a right click. So in Windows, it's quite easy to copy any folder. So you may just like copy like this way. Okay, you go here, you copy it, and whichever the folder in which you would like to paste, so you can go to that folder and you can say Control V, or you can just right click again, and here you get an option to paste. So that's how you guys do the copy paste operation, right? Now that's what happened in case of Windows. Let's say if I tell you the same thing, you have to do it here. In case of Linux, how you guys will do? Okay, how you guys will do? So for that, again, we have a command that is a cp is the command. Okay, cp is the command, and then there is one more command that is mv. So cp is the command which is responsible for copy. Okay, so whenever you have to do a copy from one location to other location, so you can provide this command, and command syntax is like this way. So cp, after that you mention the src, that is source, and your destination. So it's like a copy, then like what is the source from which you would like to copy the file, and your destination path where you would like to paste that particular file. Okay, so with this command, you guys can copy files. Okay, now in our class, let's say what we are curious here, that we would like to copy, let's say, this file to here. Okay, so in case in DR2 we haven't created anything. Okay, in case of DR2 we haven't created anything, so let's create something. Okay, let's create something. So what we will do is, we will copy this file1.txt from DR1 to DR2. Okay, so right now I'm at the where I'm inside this DR3. So let me do one thing, I'll go back. Okay, so right now I'm at the /root location. Okay, right now I'm at the /root location. So here I am at, I can see all of this folder in front of me. Okay, so let me show you. ls command should show me that, and then I'm going to use this particular command, which is cp command. So anyone would like to give an answer here, like what cp command here I should be putting? Anyone? Anyone is aware of cp command, guys, here?
Yes. What is the question?
Sorry, can you come again?
What is the question actually?
So my question is that right now we're done with the creating one of the file inside this location, which is the dir1 location. Okay, this is the file1.txt. Now we would like to copy this file from here to here inside this location, and we are at this /root location. So any idea like what command we should be using?
cp/root dir one or sorry, cp dir1/file1.txt to
Mhm.
destination dir2, and we might have to create another folder.
No,
Something
like we are
dir2.
good. We're good with that. Okay, like whatever you have said, we're good with that. So let me explain to you guys the command. Okay. Now, as you can see that I'm in front of this dir1 and dir2. So inside dir1, I have that file1.txt, and in dir2, I don't have anything. So basically, I just wish to copy, right? So cp is a command with which I can do that. And here inside the cp, after that, I can either provide the absolute path or the relative path. Okay, now what is the difference between these two? I'll explain to you. But let me, just take you the easy one, which is relative one. So relative is basically what is applicable relatively. Okay, what is applicable relatively. So in this case, right now, I'm in front of this dir1 and dir2, right? So it is a relative, like relative means that right now I can see those folders. So my source is going to be dir1 slash file1. Okay, so that's my source folder is. Okay, that's what my source folder is. So cp dir1 slash file1.txt. So that's my the file1.txt is space the destination. Now what is my destination is? So destination is going to be the dir2. Okay, so this is going to be my command for copying anything from one location to other location. Okay, so here I have put the source, and then here I put the destination. So under the dir2, my this file1.txt will get copied. Okay, let me revise one more time, guys. So at this point, I'm using the something called as the uh, the relative path. Okay, so I said cp, then I have to mention the source. Now what is my source is? So inside dir1, I can see the dir1 in front of me, right? So I said dir1 file1.txt space the destination, it's a dir2. So that is the one we called as a relative path. So based on what like at what location you are currently, as per that you decide the paths here. So that's what we call as a relative path, and this is going to be the command in that case. Okay, so cp dir1 slash file1.txt and then dir2. Okay, and you can press enter. Now I'm done executing this command, and let's confirm. Okay, if I do ls, okay, let's confirm in dir2. Okay, that what I have got here. So you guys can have a look that file1.txt we have found here. Okay, now what does it mean? That file1.txt is what? This is a file. Okay, file1.txt which we have copied from dir1 to dir2. So this is the way with which we guys are going to do the copy operation. So is this understood to you all? Any questions, guys, here?
No question.
No question, right? Each and every one of you has understood, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, great. So that is one example of with which we have taken we have understood the relative. Now I'm inside again dir2. I just want to go, one step back, maybe under the /root. So I have two choices. I can directly say either cd/root. Okay. Now with the cd, you can always put the full path and you can reach out to any of the path. Okay. So that is the way I followed here. Or else I could have also said here, which is the cd double dot, and then that should also take me to a /root location. Okay, fine. So now I am at the /root location again. And then here at this point, I do have one file here. That is the file1.txt which we have copied here. Okay. So yes, so far everything is good. Okay. But I was discussing about something called as relative and absolute path. Okay. So relative path, as I already told you, relative means what? At which location I am, as per that the position gets decided. So that is what the relative path is. Okay. Can you just explain me the absolute path? So absolute name itself is telling you, right? Absolute means what? From the start. So in case of absolute, you have to give the full path. Okay. So here, what would be the example of full path? So let's say, everything starts with the slash root. Okay. So I'll say slash root. Inside slash root, I have this dir1. So I'll say dir1. And inside dir1, I have this file1.txt. Okay. So this is going to be, I can call as the absolute path. Okay. This thing I can call as a absolute path. So here you can see the difference. So I'm at the slash root location. I can see the in front of me a dir1, so there is no need as such to provide a slash root directly. But see here, this is what happens in case of absolute path. Absolute path means basically you're giving the full path, okay, of the file. Space, what is the destination? So maybe absolute with the absolute path, you wanna say it like this way: slash root dir2. Okay, so this is going to be your absolute path is. Absolute path means from start to end, what is the file path of that thing is. So that's absolute path meaning is. And your your relative path means that at which location you are, and as per that you might get some differences. So that's a relative path is. So is this understood to you all, guys? Any questions here with the absolute and the relative path? Anything?
Yes. So I just have one query more. So what is the use of relative and absolute? So why we use absolute is already is complicated to write. So why is it absolute is important to
So
learn?
okay, now for a relative path, that is that is relatively means what? You have to reach out to that path, and then only you can give the path. Okay, let's say I'm executing the command from some other system. Okay, just try to understand in this way. Or let's say I have written some script. Okay, now I'm not sure from which path the script is going to execute. Okay, but still I have to copy something from one location to other location. So in such case, I can give the absolute path. Now absolute path, the command is not going to change, like irrespective of where you are executing this command. Okay, let's say my goal was to copy the file1.txt from dir1 to the dir2. Now because like this command I can execute only from the path where I am already located at the slash root location. Okay, but at the same time you just think that let's say if I'm at slash home slash ubuntu location, can I execute this command, or is this command is valid? No, right? Like that's the reason here, with respect to like you would like to execute a command irrespective of at what location you are. So in such case we go with the absolute path, especially when we are executing the scripts, bash scripts and all. So in such case we want to give the absolute path because we are not sure from which path we are going to execute the stuff. Okay, so that's what the use case you can have it. Is that
Got that.
understood?
Understood. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So now here you guys have seen the cp command. Okay, now let's understand one more command we have to understand, and which is the mv command. Okay, we'll understand the mv command now. What is the mv command is all about? Anyone here would like to give answer, like what is the mv command is?
Moving the
For
files or directory.
Sorry.
It is for moving the files
Yeah.
from one folder to another folder, or directories from one directory to another.
Okay, so overall you're close here. Okay, so let me tell you about more about it. So let's say that is the mv is like the full form is showing us that it's like a we are going to move something. Okay, so it's like we're gonna move the file from one location to other location. Okay, Don't you think the CP is also doing that? I mean, CP is also for that, right? Like CP is to copy the file from one location to other location. Okay, so that's what the CP command is. So CP command, with the help of which you're gonna copy the file from one location to other location. With the MV command, you guys are going to, you guys are going to move the file. Now, what is meant by difference between move and copy? So, if you remember that, in Linux or in Windows, we have two options actually. Let's say this is one file we have. So either you can copy this file. Okay, let me show you the show more option. So you have here two options. One is copy, other is cut option, right? So what is the difference between copy and cut? Copies is what the option with which it's going to do the copy from one location to other location. What does it mean? That at the source location you have one copy, and at the destination also you get one more copy. Then you have one more cut option. Now what does the cut option do? So cut option is basically going to remove that source file and will put that file into a destination. So it's like a cut paste operation that would we do. Okay, so let's say if I have this file and I take this one and I said here cut. Okay, so now that file is I have cut, and wherever I go and paste it. Okay, let's say I will go one step back. Let's do this way, that I have this 9th May demo. Okay, so I'll go inside this and I will paste it here. Okay, so I have pasted that file. If I go back and check, okay, so that file is gone. So that's what the move command is for. Okay, that's what the cut paste is for. Cut paste is going to remove your destination, I mean source file. It will simply put that file into the destination. But here my question is that, like, are we really using the cut paste a lot? Okay, I mean in general operation, let's say somebody tell you that I want the file to be in this particular folder. So are you guys using the cut paste more or copy paste more?
Copy paste more.
Correct. So copy paste is something that we use a lot, right? We
Yes.
don't use the cut paste. So same thing is valid for Linux also. Then why I'm teaching you the MV command? Okay. So same thing is for Linux also. We usually don't want to take any risk. Okay. Let's say I'm trying to copy something. So I will always have a copy at the copy at the source location, and destination also I'll get one copy. Same thing is valid here also. Maybe I don't want to take a risk. So whenever I have to do the copy operation, so I would give a preference to the copy more, okay, than the MV. Okay. But then there is a one more use case we have for MV. Okay, and that use case we have to learn actually. Okay, we are not going to use MV command for cut paste operation. Okay, of course you can use it, but that's not what we use for. We use for something else. And what is that operation is? It's a rename operation. Okay. So in Linux, we don't have any specific command to rename the file. Okay, in Linux, we don't have any specific command to rename the file. Like the way, let's say here we have this file1.txt. Okay, let me give you a direct example. Okay, I'll go to dir2. Okay, and inside dir2, I have this file1.txt. Now just imagine that instead of this file1.txt, I would like to give the file name as the file5.txt. Okay, I would like to change the file name. Instead of file1, I would like to use the file5.txt. What I can do is I can just say mv. Okay, then what is my source file? It is a file1.txt. And what is my destination file? I'm gonna keep the same as a destination, but by changing the name. Okay, so it's like you can just go to that particular path. You can give your old file name, and you can give the new file name, and that is the way with which we are actually changing the we are renaming the file. Now behind the scene, what is happening? It's like this is your source, this is your destination. Okay, so source is getting copied to the destination, and while going to destination, so here I put the other name for my file. So at the destination location, your file name would be different. Okay, so that operation we are performing, but this is a trick. We actually use it for a rename purpose. So keep it very simple. Just say mv, provide your old file name, and what is the new file name you would like to use. So just provide that, and with this particular command, you guys can just do the rename thing. Okay, so I'll just press enter, and if I do ls, You guys can have a look that earlier file name was file1 and now file name is changed to file5.txt. So this is the way
I
we,
have one doubt here.
yes, please go
Uh,
on.
okay, so only the name will be changed, or inside the content that will be also replaced?
No. Here only name will get changed. So it's like, you're moving the file from this location to the same location, but while it's moving, you're just changing the your file name. So that is happening here.
Okay.
Okay. So
Okay.
yes, yeah. So here we can see that file5.txt we're done with the changing the name. So anytime somebody tell you to just rename the file, what you will do? You will go to that particular path. You will say mv and then your old file name and then new file name. So this is what the syntax you guys have to keep in mind. So is that understood to you all? Any queries, questions, guys? Anything from your end?
Yeah, I have one doubt actually.
Yes.
So if we want to move the file from one directory to another directory, can we do that using move, or like completely move that file from one directory to another directory and rename the file? Can we do
Y-
that?
Yes. You wish to rename the file plus move the file, right? Both the operation you would like to do it, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so let's take example. Let's say you would like to move this file 5 to again dir1. Okay. Now what you will do, you have to put the absolute path because that file is at like that location somewhere else. So that is /root. Under that we have dir1. So under this particular path, let's say instead of file 5, you would like to use the file name as, let's say, file, I'll give name, let's say 10.txt. Okay. So this is going to be the command in that case. And if I press enter, let's go and check the dir1. Okay, here you can see the file 10.txt. We are done with the moving that file here. Okay.
Got it.
Yes. All right. So guys, here these are the things we have done so far. I mean, copy operation, NV operation. These are the few things we have done so far. So CP and the MV is something we're done with. Okay, great. So what is next we have? Okay, one more thing that I have to discuss today, that like how you will add, or like till the time whatever we have writing here. So all of those files are blank one. Okay. Now how I can confirm that my files are blank? So cat is the command to see the content of the file. Okay. Cat is the command that should show me a content of the file. So at this point, if I show you the cat, okay, so cat and then file name, okay, cat and file name. So you can have a look that currently it is blank because stretch command is going to create a file which is blank one. So right now I don't have anything inside the file. Okay, now how I can put, okay, how I can put anything here. So let's understand that. So I can use something like a nano command, okay, and with the help of nano, here you guys can, I mean, like how to write anything. So cat, okay, let me tell you first. Cat is to show you the content of the file. Now there is nothing. Okay, so let me just put that command here. So we are talking about one more command, that is cat command, and then file name is something you can put. So cat command is showing content of the file. Now what the next thing you're gonna do? Let's say we are curious here to add anything, the text inside this file. Now one more thing you need to understand here, that in case of Linux we have a different types of uh, the editor. Okay, we have some of the editors that we can have it. Now in case of your Windows system, like let's say you have to write anything, so we have what? We have a notepad. Okay, we have a notepad or notepad plus plus, you can use it. So these are the softwares with the help of which we can write the text inside the file. Okay, so let's say somebody tell you like this is what the text you have to write. So you'll open notepad, you'll write it and you'll save that file, right? So that's what you will do in case of Windows. Now how to do the same, exactly same with the with the Linux. Okay, so here we have a multiple editors like VI is there, Nano is there, Vim is there. Okay, so there are multiple editors you have. So let me go with the basic one, which is the Nano editor. So I'll teach you how to write anything in a file. Okay, so I'm gonna say Nano and then file one dot, file dot 10. Okay, so this is the file I'll put and just press enter. Now what has happened that you have created, I mean, you have done opening your Nano editor. Okay, you're done with editing the file here. So we are done with the we are done with what we are done with the opening the editor. Now here onwards we can start typing that whatever we would like to write. Okay, so let's say this is the demo sample line I am writing. Okay, so this is demo sample line I'm writing. That's what I have written here, and let me save it. Now how I can save? So I can say Control O. Like how I'll come to know. Okay, let's say here how I can understand, like, so here I'm done writing the things. Okay, how here I'm done writing the things. So you guys can just have a little look at the bottom line. So your interest is to save. Okay, your interest is to save. So we have one option that Control O for that. Okay, so you can use the Control O to write out. Okay, so to write anything you have to say Control O, and then it's asking me this is what the file name you'd like to keep it. So yes, just press enter and you're done writing the text. Okay, you're done writing the text. So Control O is a command to save your text. Okay, Control O is a command to save your text, to write out. And now you're done writing the text, right? So you would like to get out of this particular file. So what you can do is you can say Control X. Okay, you can see option here. Control X is for exit. So you can just say Control X and then yes, you're done. So if I show you cat file, and here you can have a look that yes, that there's one line it got written. So this is the way you guys are going to follow for passing your that whatever the text you would like to write in a file. So this is the way you guys are going to follow. So is this understood to you all, like about nano editor thing?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So yeah, this all things I wanted to speak, guys. Now what I will will give you some task. Okay. So first of all, here I have already told you that you guys should have AWS account, have Git Bash installation, create your own server, and do the practice that whatever we have done. Okay, so let's say if you're someone who is beginner, okay, definitely everyone, each and everyone has to listen this recording and then they can do the practice. You may just get in touch with the coordinator for having and asking for recordings, but just do the practice and let me know tomorrow any of the queries question you guys face. So rest of things we will cover tomorrow. Okay, and for today we will stop it here. So
So
let me,
one
yes.
question I have last before that. So those are the only commands which you are going to use, or any other commands for Linux?
So no, we are going to, we are not done with the Linux. So tomorrow also we're gonna learn the Linux. Tomorrow I'll be covering a few of the important commands like how to add user permissions, how you can restrict anyone. So those things we will learn tomorrow.
Okay.
And there's one more file I'll share you for command, the Linux command file. You can go through that, the commands, okay? So once I got your all the email IDs from the coordinator, I'll send you an email for Linux command document. I'll share with you all.
Yeah, sure. Thanks. One last question. Tomorrow will we we will have class, or because of that office is in leave, right? Holiday tomorrow. So
Oh yeah, correct. So tomorrow is 2nd October, but guys, like unfortunately, we won't be able to take leave. The reason is, of course, we have to cover a lot of things in this week. So
yes,
sorry for that. Tomorrow you guys will have a session.
no problem. Yeah, thanks. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So if you are not having any queries, questions, so maybe we are in good position to conclude session. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay, fine, guys. So yeah, thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you, Amal. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi Amol. Hello.